We be live. Shalom, shalom, everyone. How's my audio? Make sure you like the stream. Guys, did you just see what happened? Of course, you have seen. I think everybody has been seeing this. Everybody's talking about this. Trump is in the Middle East. He was in, right now, I think he's in Qatar. But just yesterday, he was in Saudi Arabia. And oh my devil. There was crazy. It was one of the most luxurious events ever happened. It was an event that made billionaires feel poor. That's how it was. And some of the world history's greatest deals happened there. And also, it's geopolitics, it's AI, it's energy, it's everything. I think this was one of the most historical events that happened in history. The direction of so many things have changed because of just this. But it's crazy. So let me just give you a huge, like a really short rundown of everything that happened, and so that people who are not following the news, who might not know what's happening, just a quick summary, so we're all on the same page, and then we will go over all the discussions people are having around this topic. Guys, have you liked the stream? Please make sure you like the stream. It's important to like the stream so that we have, yeah, it was so it was legend. I mean, love it, love those people, hate those people. It was historic. It was basically the meeting of giants, all the greatest powers on earth when it comes to either politically or economically. It was just all in the same place, and it was magnificent in the sense that they made it look out of this world. Like if you could make billionaires feel like they're poor, then you know that you have that you're on a different level. Like these are the world's titans. Anyways, guys, have you liked the stream? Have you? And also, the quality of my audio is good because I'm trying to put the mic in a position where the quality of audio is good, because sometimes it's too low, sometimes it's too high. Is this okay? Let me know. All right, let me just go. Yeah, SM saying give it to me. Okay, let's go through all of this. Okay, so what happened? Trump visited Saudi Arabia. This is Trump's technically first international trip in his new term. I know he went to Vatican, but officially this is his first international trip. He went to Riyadh, the capital of Saudi Arabia. Riyadh with Zayn with saying, yeah. He's so yeah, okay. He's also expected to visit Qatar. Again, this was written yesterday. He is in Qatar right now. By the way, when he was in Qatar, it's not even at all at the level that it was when it was in Saudi Arabia. Like, I saw the meetings that he's having in Qatar. I mean, it looks good. It looks like high end. It looks very rich and everything, like the decorations and everything. But again, the way that the Saudis did it, they basically shamed everyone else. Like, nothing can even compare to that. Guys, like, you have to understand, Trump was shoulder to shoulder. Like, he was. These are the levels that he has. Like, Trump, he took the tech giants with him. He took some Altman with him. He took Elon with him. What's that guy's name from Nvidia? God, why is it Jensen something? Okay, I'll figure out his name. So, guys, what's the Nvidia guy's name? I forgot his name. The guy from Nvidia, and he's Trump next to people like Elon Musk. He's poor, even though he's a billionaire. Compared to these other people, the economic power that they have, these tech giants have, is lower than them. But then these tech giants in Riyadh, next to these Saudi princes, they feel poor next to them. So imagine, these are different levels of billionaires. So imagine, like, millionaires feel extremely poor compared to billionaires, but then these billionaires feel extremely poor compared to other billionaires. Yeah. Yeah, Jensen Hong. Yes, Jensen Hong. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So the Saudis gave Trump a huge welcome, red carpet, military parade, royal meetings. I mean, that doesn't even capture um, what it was like. It was clearly meant to impress and show strong friendship. What did they announce? They announced $600 billion in deals. 600 billion. Okay, so we have to actually wait and see if these deals will actually go through, because Saudis do have sometimes a history of promising things that doesn't go through at some point. But the number is astronomical. Is 600 billion in deals is a crazy freaking number, right? And this is why Trump took with him all of these business leaders, especially from the tech industry, from the AI industry, because he was bringing his boys. He was bringing his tech boys there to basically collect money. And not only his boys, his family too. How is this legal? How is any of this legal? Okay. All right. Trump and Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman MBS announced plans for 600 billion in investment deals. These include weapons. Yeah, and also, guys, this was the, I think it was the greatest arms sales in history. I think the second one being the one that Trump did in his first term. So when it comes to weapons, arms sales from the U.S. to Saudi, so Saudi, the Saudis are going to buy billions of dollars of arms from the U.S. And this, again, these sales of arms is the largest in history ever. Right? And also, then we have AI chips and data centers, mining and infrastructure. And guys, all of this is related to the Islamic Republic of Iran. And I'll tell you how, and I'll show you how, right? This is basically everything that is happening. The elephant is in the room is the Islamic Republic in Iran. And I'll tell you how this is all connected to that, okay? So Trump said this could grow to 1 trillion with more deals later, $1 trillion in deals. That is insane if true. Important to note that some experts doubt these numbers are real or just for show. So we'll see. Okay, so the people who were there, we mentioned from NVIDIA, Jensen Huang, Elon Musk was there, Sam Altman from OpenAI was there, BlackRock was there. These are people if the Democrats were shoulder to shoulder with on giant deals, like the MAGA people would lose their freaking mind, right? Do you guys agree? The MAGA crowd would lose, especially BlackRock. So BlackRock was there, going there and basically being involved in world-changing deals, guys. This is not just like investments in this company growing that company. These are the elites shaping the future of our planet. This is also another elephant in the room is China. Okay, so this is basically all of these world powers in one room. The U.S. is trying to raise money to basically to outcompete China, because China is like right now really speed running through progress when it comes to AI and technology. So United States is desperately trying to raise funds for the tech industry so that China doesn't pass them. So this is when it comes to technology, this represents a shift in politics and finance as a way to be able to compete with China. But when it comes to military and political positioning, all of this is a competition, as a way to create a stance against the Islamic Republic of Iran, and again, a stance that does not include Israel, right? So you see a shift in U.S. politics from going to with the Israeli, like having Israel as the leader and having a maximum pressure attitude towards the Islamic Republic, and using Israel's, like basically uniting everyone in the Middle East behind Israel to basically put pressure on the Islamic Republic. We're shifting away from that to basically everybody getting united behind Saudi Arabia and using Saudi Arabia's method on basically dealing with the Islamic Republic. Oh, these saying, but I thought Jews were ruling the world. No, they're not. Apparently, it's capital. It's who has the highest capital. It's not the Jews. Okay, right now the Saudis have a lot more influence than Israelis when it comes to U.S. politics at the moment. I mean, things could always change. Why is my hair doing this today? It's all over the place. Okay, they're all good. They're looking to get, yeah. So basically, they're all there to raise money, the tech, AI, energy, weapon sales, everything. It's the greatest sales in history. Okay, when it comes to amount and volume, it's insane. So what are the things Trump said that was basically jaw-dropping? There was a Syria surprise there, and I will show people's takes on this for you guys. Trump basically announced that he wants to end U.S. sanctions on Syria, and it seemed like this was something that Mohammed bin Salman wanted to push, basically made him do. Because I'll show you when he announced that, Mohammed bin Salman was like, he was almost, he was so proud of his boy. It was so Mohammed bin Salman was like, my boy, my baby. Thank you. Okay. All right. So yeah. So which is interesting because Ahmed al-Shara is supposed to be Turkey's project, but you can see now Saudi is behind them, which kind of shows like because everybody expected Syria to be a competition between Saudi Arabia and Turkey, but it seems like everybody's getting along, except to except Israel, apparently, right? So Saudi Arabia and Turkey are getting along on Syria. They're both invested in Ahmed al-Shara, and now Trump is behind him as well. And I'll show you some celebration in Syria over this. This really, and also this is another move against Israel, because Israel wants to be able to basically be in Syria and treat it, put its military there, basically bomb wherever it wants, and basically go in there and do military operations as needed. And it's interesting because now, right before leaving Saudi Arabia, Trump met with Ahmed al-Shara, with Mohammed bin Salman. I saw pictures of that. And basically now they're trying to bring him to the Abrahamic Accord, which is interesting because in Trump's first term, the Abrahamic Accord was something that was supposed to be supporting Israel. Here, to me, I mean, let me know if you guys agree with me. Here it seems like it's actually using the Abrahamic Accord against Israel, because they're trying to support Ahmed al-Shara, basically meaning that, hey, this is our boy now, Israel, stop attacking it. We're trying to keep Syria in one piece, and we're trying to get Saudi money and Turkish money into Syria to start investing there. And Saudi wants to basically start investing in Syria. So this is now Saudi territory. So back the F down, Israel. So bringing Syria into the Abrahamic Accord and trying to so-called normalize the relationship with Israel, more of being a signal to Israel that we're supporting you, to me it sounds like more of a signal to Israel to stop doing operations in Syria. What do you guys think? And then said, so the goal is to help. It says Gulf countries, but guys, as an Iranian, every time you see me saying it says Gulf countries, I have to make sure that I add the actual name. It's not Gulf countries, it's Persian Gulf countries, right? So the actual name is not Gulf, okay? Because what the hell is Gulf? We have so many Gulfs around the world. You don't just call it Gulf, you call it by its name. It's the Persian Gulf, okay? So here it reads the goal is to help Gulf countries rebuild Syria, but I would read that the goal is to help Persian Gulf countries rebuild Syria. A big change in U.S. policy. So removing the sanctions, and again, Trump met with Ahmed al-Shara, which is still officially by U.S. categorization considered to be a terrorist. And Trump met with him, which is it's interesting because you would think that before meeting with him, you would have to first remove him the label as a terrorist, so that it doesn't it's not officially written in history that Trump sat down and shook hands and met with somebody that the U.S. itself considers a terrorist, right? So let me actually see if I can find the picture. Ahmed al-Shara, by the way, is Jolani. If you guys, I hope you all know. I mean, people in this channel know this, right? Like, I don't need to mention that. Hold on. Let me see. Copy image. Yeah, so, yep. No, I didn't dream this. This is real. This happened. Okay. I thought maybe this was in my dream. So it's not. It was in my dream. This is real. I just had to make sure because sometimes, guys, I dream about the news. I dream about the news. Okay. So I was like, no, this is real. Okay. So this happened. This guy is still a terrorist officially, and Trump met with him and shook his hand. Yeah, crazy. But Till is saying crazy picture. Yeah, this is like this guy is still. Let me see. Is Giuliani still a terrorist recognized by the U.S.? Yeah, let me just check that while we look this up. All right, so let's go towards the other things that happened. Okay, what else? Okay, so yeah, what are people arguing about? Trump's business ties. Trump's company has. Oh yeah, okay. So here's the thing: Trump went and raised a lot of money for all these tech giants, which is good. I mean, I like some competition, especially in the tech sector between China and United States. The more they compete, both of them compete, the better is for all of us. But here's the thing: he didn't just raise money for these tech sectors. He also raised money like tech. Like I mean, he kind of raised money for his family, which is arguably against the U.S. Constitution, huh? Like I don't know, guys. I'm not a constitutional lawyer, so I don't know. But Trump's company has golf courses, real estate, and crypto interest in Saudi. So technically, this was an official fundraising event for Trump's family. Critics say that he's mixing politics with his personal business. I mean, critics are right, actually. I don't know, guys. What do you guys think? I mean, like, I think the critics are right. I mean, guys, the Democrats, like, remember Hunter Biden's sons, like his ties to Ukraine and how big of a deal the MAGA people made that about. Like, are the MAGA people, like, maybe they are, I don't know, are the MAGA people like pulling their hair out? Because this is so much more than that. The economic ties to Trump's family is so much more direct here than what we saw. I mean, I'm not excusing Biden, but am I imagining things? Or let me see. We got a super chat. Arimov saying we Jews have village mentality and Israeli politics reflect that. Government doesn't understand the power it has and it still wants to rely on foreign kings. I mean, your government doesn't realize the government in Israel doesn't realize that. The government in Israel is smart to realize that strength comes from allies, especially in the modern world. Your strength comes from the friends that you have. You cannot be powerful just standing on your own without actually relying on other people. Every country that is a superpower and every country that is strong, it's not because it went into an isolationist mode. It's because it made the greatest ties and became reliant and cooperative with other people. I mean, if you want to just, so we have village mentality. Israeli politics reflect that. Government doesn't understand the power it has, still wants to rely. It's not, yeah, okay. If you don't want to rely on foreign kings, then go become North Korea, I guess. I mean, they have done isolationist perfectly. So I don't know if I'm understanding what you're saying, but Netanyahu understands. Netanyahu rightfully, correctly understands that if you want a strong Israel, you need to basically have the best ties with other countries. Yeah, but right now it's not looking good for Israel, guys. I mean, things might change. Like, things are not looking good for Netanyahu. Things are going in the wrong direction for Israel. And that is a concern. If you don't think this is a concern, I mean, things might change tomorrow, but right now things are concerning. I mean, Israeli officials are correctly concerned, and if you're not concerned for Israel, you're not paying attention or you're not understanding what's happening, right? So Israel has been left out. Biden had pushed for a deal between Saudi and Israel, but Trump didn't talk about that. He focused on money, not diplomacy. So in this, like, Israel was completely absent in the discussions here. Like Biden, when it comes to normalization of ties, you know, when it comes to Biden administration, there was still a push for Saudi to normalize its relationship with Israel, but Trump has removed all those conditions from Saudi to be able to, for all of these deals, there was none of these conditions. In fact, not only did they not put the Israeli normalization conditions on the table, they removed it from the table, but they also allowed Saudi Arabia to add back the condition of recognizing Palestine as a condition for normalization, because Saudi Arabia was not talking about that much before, but it's now back. It's now back, which is bad because I don't think Palestine should ever be a country. I think Palestine shouldn't even exist. I think all of that land should belong to Israel. But now Saudi Arabia is now thinks that because of Trump, it has the upper hand. And by the way, guys, all of this could be temporary because I know there's a lot of money being exchanged here, and the Saudis look very, very rich. But behind the scenes, right now, things are not looking well at all. The Vision 20. I mean, there's a lot of money in being invested in Saudi Arabia, but it's not, and it's astronomical amount of money that is being invested in Saudi Arabia right now, but it's not at all, and it's slowing down. And it's not at all enough for Vision 2030 to happen. A lot of Saudi projects are not going as fast as they should be. Oil prices are dropping. They're half the level that they're supposed to be for Israel to be able to balance its budget. There's a lot of debt Saudi Arabia is in. Did I say Israel? I mean Saudi Arabia, right? Saudi Arabia is for them to be able to balance their budget. The oil is supposed to be right now at 120, I think, and I think right now it's half of that. They're losing. They're in a deficit. Saudi Arabia, like you can see all that glamour and all that wealth and all these like $600 billion of deals and investments, and this is a lot of money. But again, it's not enough for Vision 2030, and Saudi Arabia needs Vision 2030 to actually happen, or else they might go bankrupt and this whole thing might collapse. Guys, this like enjoy this glamour while it lasts, because if oil prices go any lower and investments don't come into Saudi Arabia faster than they already are, we might see an Islamic revolution in Saudi Arabia, and we might see a comeback of Islamism. We saw Mohammed Reza Shah trying to modernize Iran, and then instead we had an Islamic revolution as a backlash. We saw Ataturk trying to modernize and secularize Turkey, and we saw Islamism coming back as a backlash. We might see this happening for a third time in Saudi Arabia if they're not able to diversify their economy out of oil and gas fast enough. And this whole modernization might eventually have an Islamic pushback. We don't know. The young generation in Saudi Arabia seems to be enjoying all of these modernization, but it just takes a very aggressive minority to be able to undo all of this, especially if Saudi Arabia runs out of money at some point, which again, it doesn't look like if you look at everything, it doesn't look like they will ever run out of money. But if you actually crunch the numbers and do the calculation, they will, if they keep heading in the direction that they will run out of money. Okay. And again, so this is why I'm saying Israel is a much more reliable ally than Saudi Arabia, guys, because Saudi Arabia is it's not ideologically aligned. This is just money, and it's not money because of the culture and productivity. It's basically easy money come gushing out of the ground. Israel money, Israel business deals, Israel. This is an actual proper ally. This is a secular, modern, liberal country that becomes rich because it has the right attitude, because it has the right culture, because it has the right mindset, because it has entrepreneurship, because it's builds things out of nothing, rather than becoming rich because you just have lucky enough to have black oil gushing out of the ground. Okay, So Saudi Arabia is like a temporary ally. I mean, if they lose their money, all of a sudden you see that they're not going to be your friend. Investment in Israel is a more sure investment than an investment in Saudi Arabia. Israel is a much better ally to the West than Saudi Arabia or Qatar. These are people that will stab you in the back as soon as things don't go their way. We like Western countries are more ideologically aligned with Israel. This is you shouldn't betray Israel just because there's a lot of money now being flowing here, right? Anyways, again, it's Trump. Trump just follows the money. But wait, yeah, okay. So U.S. conservatives are split. Some Republicans love the America First jobs idea. Others are uncomfortable with foreign money controlling too much. Yeah, especially the Qatari one. I mean, Saudi Arabia at least is completely Saudi Arabia. Here, let me say something good about Saudi Arabia. Okay, Saudi Arabia it has. I mean, at least the Saudis, not the Wahhabis over there, but the Saudis are done with funding terrorism. Okay, not because they're good people all of a sudden. It's because the terrorists are now attacking them, and it's becoming such a headache for them. Okay, so at least with the Saudis, we could be like, you know what, these people used to fund Wahhabism, and they're responsible for ISIS, Al Qaeda, and all of this crap. And they're done with that. They're like, like this is no, we're not going to do that anymore. But the Qataris are still they're like two-faced. They're like both a U.S. ally and they're a Hamas ally. Okay, they're like supporting and they're spreading woke ideology in United States and other Western countries, and they're funding it, and they're changing the education system. Like, it's crazy. They're like, hey, we're we are buddies with the U.S., but we're also funding your downfall at the same time. So I mean, if the conservative, it's so interesting how some MAGA like Tucker Carlson is becoming buddies with the Qataris as well, which is so weird. Like, how are you guys anti-woke, anti-Islamism, and are becoming so buddy with the main country that is funding all of this? Yeah, I don't know. So can somebody explain to me how some MAGA people are enjoying this? But yeah, so and business and government blending. Okay, so Musk, Altman, Jensen. Wait, why do I keep forgetting the Nvidia guy, Jensen Hong? So maybe I'm just yeah, Jensen Hong. Yeah, I remember Jensen Hong. Yes, yeah, Nvidia guy. So Musk, Altman, Wall Street big names, BlackRock, Nvidia. All of these people are there, and basically raising all of these business deals. A lot of these big business names are going to be politically supported. It's interesting because big tech used to be anti-Trump, right? But now big tech is really pro-Trump because Trump takes them on these tours. Okay, because takes them like, hey, like easy money, right? Yeah. So it's clear that private companies are working side by side with the U.S. government. All right, let's look at some MAGA takes, some people who are enjoying all of this, and they're like, "Oh, this is actually glorious." Wait, no, actually, before we go to the MAGA takes, let's look at. So this is very interesting because when the Trump's plane, where Air Force One came to Saudi Arabia to Riyadh, Mohammed bin Salman showed up right at the plane himself. Okay, which is not something that you see. Like, look, he's standing right at the plane. So let me see. This is Reuters business saying, as Donald Trump kicked off his golf tour, again, Persian golf tour, to secure trillions. This is, guys, if there was a God wouldn't have this much money. Okay, this is more monies than gods have. Okay, so to secure trillions in investments, he signed a strategical deal worth $600 billion. So $600 billion was just from Saudi Arabia, but he has the other, the UAE, the Emirati, and the Qatari tours to go as well. Again, it's so weird that Trump came all the way to the Middle East and he's not visiting Israel. I mean, this is a clear message. This is absolutely a clear message to Israel that you're being sidelined, right? So $600 billion with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman in Riyadh. Let me see. But we got a super chat. Oh, we got two super chats. Batul is saying, is it possible to get on the stream with you in 10 minutes? Well, no, because I need to go through all of these really, really fast. And also I have another stream coming after this, right? So I have something planned. But if you have something to say, just put it in the live chat. And Jean, oh, by the way, I forgot to thank Jean. Jean is highlighting your comments and starring them. And it's actually faster and easier this way for you to make your points in the chat with me, and I will just read them. But thank you for the super chat. Shauna is saying, not all Christians are anti-Islam. So some are so blinded by their anti-Semitism that they think Islam is closer to Christianity than Judaism. Christianity is 2,000-year-old religion. It's complex. Yes, I know. Yeah. I mean, I've seen many Christians who are feeling that, oh yeah, these Muslims are. It's good to get united with Muslims because they are they appreciate family values. They're properly anti-LGBT. They're, I don't know, stuff like that, right? So let's actually look at this video. Look at Mohammed bin Salman waiting at the. By the way, this is the 40-year-old. So this plane is Air Force One for Trump, and Trump doesn't like this plane. He thinks it's not very luxurious. It's old. Imagine that, guys. Like, look how you have a giant plane to yourself to be able to travel, and you think that your plane is not very high end, right? And again, the plane that the Qataris were supposed to give to Trump, which was $400 million. You guys understand that Trump, being a billionaire, he cannot afford a plane that luxurious. This is why imagine the Qataris are making Trump as a billionaire feel poor, because you might think like, oh yeah, if somebody's a billionaire, of course they're going to be able to afford a $400 million plane. No, they can't. $400 million is a huge portion of your net worth. And also a lot of your, like, why would you, that percentage of your net worth going towards the plane that you ride around, that's insane. So, and also a lot of your wealth is in stocks and investments. You can't just pull those out. So imagine the Qatari is just basically wanting to gift away $400 million of a plane. That's insane money. That's how you make a billionaire like Trump feel inferior money-wise to these princes, because Trump himself could not afford such a luxurious plane, because it's basically a palace, a flying palace. That's what it is. So, but look at this. Look at Mohammed bin Salman waiting right at the bottom here for him, which is a kind of treatment that Biden never got. By
U.S. President Donald Trump secured a $600 billion investment pledge from Saudi Arabia on Tuesday as the oil power rolled out the purple carpet for him at the start of his first official overseas trip since returning to the White House. Riyadh is his first stop on a tour of wealthy Gulf states aimed at drumming up trillions of dollars in investments.
Look, yeah, some tremendous relationship over the years.
During a meeting.
Look, somebody is telling me Trump has $8 billion net worth. Yeah, that's not enough for you to be able to afford $400 million plane. Do you know what that's insane to put? If you're $8 billion net worth, it's insane to spend almost $500 million of your $8 billion on just a plane. If you have $8 billion net worth, that means you cannot afford a $400 million plane. So that's why Trump considers it, imagine, like, that's why he would be traveling around in a plane that is luxurious and not more luxurious than he could afford. Like, imagine if you have $8 million, it would be insane to spend on a money to buy a $400,000 car, right? That's too much of your net worth. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, this must really piss off the Islamic Republic of Iran. Yeah, we will get there, actually. We'll talk about Israel. We'll talk about Iran.
Debt drumming up trillions of dollars in investments.
My friend, tremendous relationship over the years.
During a meeting with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, also known as MBS, Trump hailed their relationship and praised him as wise. They then signed an economic partnership deal covering energy, defense, mining, and other areas. According to the White House, Saudi Arabia's commitment to invest in the United States includes what it said was the largest defense sales agreement between the allies, worth nearly $142 billion. Trump
Wait, where's the king, by the way? We keep seeing the crown prince. Like, have they locked him up somewhere in the basement?
has been joined on his trip by a group of U.S.
Yeah, somebody's saying it's a gift, not a purchase. Yeah, that should be illegal. But let's continue.
Trump has been joined on his trip by a group of U.S. business and banking leaders, including billionaire Elon Musk and OpenAI's Sam Altman. Saudi Arabia has been seeking to cut its dependence.
Wait, how much is Sam Altman worth? I mean, Sam Altman is worth. He's so young to be a billionaire, by the way. I mean, look, like Trump is standing next to people that he's worth a lot less than. Like Trump is like in this picture, Trump is like. In this picture, Trump is like a beggar compared to like a beggar in the street compared to us is basically Trump's worth compared to the two people that he's standing next to.
Including billionaire Elon Musk and OpenAI's Sam Altman. Saudi Arabia has been seeking to cut its dependence on oil revenue. It's aiming to position itself as a leading center for artificial intelligence outside the US. The two countries have maintained strong ties for decades based on an arrangement that sees the kingdom delivering oil and the superpower providing security in exchange. The Crown Prince's relationship with Trump has been smoother than with his predecessor, Joe Biden. Their ties were strained by the 2018 killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi in Istanbul.
Oh, does anybody even remember Khashoggi anymore? Like, I think that like Ben Salman has completely changed his image as this modernizing person that is like rebranding everything, this futuristic tech guy. Like Khashoggi, who? Like nobody cares. Like, I mean, who do people like? He has successfully completely changed the discussions around him. I'm actually even surprised that Reuters is bringing him up.
Istanbul's Saudi consulate. U.S. intelligence said they believe the killing was ordered by MBS. He has denied involvement. Trump will head to Qatar on Wednesday and the United Arab Emirates on Thursday. The president has not included Israel on his schedule. Israeli officials have put a brave face on Trump's decision, but there are growing doubts in Israel about its position in his priorities as frustration mounts in Washington.
Look at that poor man's plane. Disgusting. Ew. You fly in that? Look at that old shit. Embarrassing Trump. Like, what is this? Ew. Ew. This is a poor man's plane.
Over the failure to end the war in Gaza.
Embarrassing. Embarrassing. Somebody give him the $400 million plane. I bet you it doesn't have even more than 3 showers in there, because I heard the $400 million Qatari one had 9 showers in them. It had 9. I think it was 9 showers in the other plane. I bet you this one has only 2 showers. Pathetic. Do you guys share showers in there? Like, does Trump have to share? Does he have to shower in the same place that some other people? Oh my God, that's ew, ew. Call yourself a billionaire. Okay, let's go. Okay, so let's look at the MAGAs. Some MAGA people enjoying this a lot. So this is like, so guys, like the Twitter account that I follow to see what people who are pro MAGA, really aggressively pro MAGA are saying, and the account Republicans Against Trump is the one that I try to follow to see like what some anti-Trump narratives are. Right, so this one, MAGA Voice is saying, I am in tears. I can't stop watching the Saudi prince and the whole room give Trump a massive standing ovation for bringing peace to the world. Peace through strength. Okay, so let's watch this part that she, it seemed like it's a she, was enjoying. So let's watch this. Okay, so here he stands, and everybody stands, and this is the part that a lot of MAGA people are enjoying. This is like, look at the respect Trump is getting. Okay, but the part that is missing here, the part that they are not mentioning, is what was before this, that all of a sudden Mohammed bin Salman really, she basically showing the applause. But let's actually go a little bit back, right? So let's look at what Trump said that got all of the look at, so here, look at this. Charles Lister is saying, huge news. Trump confirms in Saudi that he will order the cessation of sanctions on Syria to give them a chance at greatness. He receives a standing ovation from the entire ballroom. So this shows how important this was to the Saudis, which is quite interesting that this was the thing that Trump said, because Trump said so many things. He praised the US, he praised Saudi Arabia, he praised Mohammed bin Salman. He says, I like him, so I love this man, I love Mohammed, I love him so too much. He said, I love him too much, right? And they kept on clapping. But the thing that got the standing ovation was this basically the order of the cessation of sanctions on Syria, which shows that, first of all, how important this was to Mohammed bin Salman. I mean, I don't know what Saudi Arabia's plans are for Syria, but that's what got the most applause. So let's watch this thing actually in full. What do you guys make of that? That this was the thing. And also Mohammed bin Salman, when he said that, went like this. So basically saying thank you, showing very directly that Mohammed bin Salman made this request to Trump to say that. And this, when he did this, I saw some pictures from Syria for other people basically in Syria being so happy about this, and also putting their hands like this. So this is in Syria, they're loving this. So we have a whole bunch of new fanboys for Mohammed bin Salman and Trump now in Syria, which is quite interesting. Watch this.
I will be ordering the cessation of sanctions against Syria in order to give them a chance at greatness.
Look at this. You saw that? This gesture is going viral online. This, like, him going like this. Yeah. Yeah. Do you think, why is MBS so pro Syria? Why indeed? Why are they? It seemed like Turkey and by the way, guys, Syria kind of belonged to the Islamic Republic before Assad's fall, and Syria was a key area. Like, whoever controls Syria controls a lot of things in the Middle East. It's basically a bridge between everything. If you control Syria, you have a lot of leverage in the Middle East. And a lot of the threats that the Islamic Republic was able to inflict upon Israel was because they controlled Syria. And now that Assad is gone, instead of Turkey and Saudi Arabia fighting over Syria, somehow they managed to get on the same page. And now they want to get the US to remove the sanctions from Syria so that they could just move in and start building the entire thing. And Ahmed al-Shara is being allies with him is the key, basically, is the key guy in this whole deal. But everybody wants to move into Syria fast. I mean, to be honest, this is not bad. This is going to be, if this works out, it's going to be great for the Syrian people, because Ahmed al-Shara has signaled that he wants to follow the Saudi Arabia model, meaning that he wants to move to, I mean, I don't know what he's going to do. We cannot trust these people. But if true, it's great if true, he wants to start modernizing Syria. And I don't know, it seems like we're about to see a lot of capital flowing into Syria, and there's a lot of building, which is going to be really good for the Syrian people. It's also going to be good for the Iranian people, because Syria's downfall was always used as a propaganda tool for the Islamic Republic to scare the Iranian people what will happen if you topple the regime. Like, oh, look at this. We're going to be like Libya after Gaddafi. We're going to be like Syria. Look at what's happening there. So if Assad falling, and then if these people manage to invest in Syria, and in Syria becoming a great country at some point, a lot of people in Iran are going to be like, hey, look at what they got after they toppled their dictator. It's not actually that bad because it's not going to be like Libya. Maybe it could be like Syria. So this would increase the revolutionary thirst for a revolution against the Islamic Republic in Iran if Syria goes the right way. So just remember that, guys. People are not telling you these things in other places. This level of detail of analysis deserves a like right now. Make sure you like the stream, because this is pretty good. This is pretty good content. Yeah, look at the applause. Look, oh my god. As soon as he stood up, everybody stood up. By the way, guys, like all of these people are big deal. Like all of these people, these are the people that are going to be, a lot of these people shape society and the future in ways that is godlike, right? But even in this room, like the competition is very, very high. Like we are, like, for example, the people who are sitting in these rows here, even though they're a lot richer than vast majority of people in the world, and they're even richer than many millionaires around the world right now, I could promise you, I'm almost certain that they are feeling inferior compared to the people that managed to get a front row seat. It's always a status game, and you never feel rich. You always just compare yourself to the people who are ahead of you. These people are not, even though they're big deal, they don't feel like they're a big deal because they are comparing themselves to the people that were influential enough to be able to get a front row seat, right? Yes, like these people, like that, like Elon Musk.
I will.
All right, let's go to this guy's take, which is I think he's a Trump fan. Yeah, Trump just walked on. Oh yeah, so they had two songs playing for Trump. They had his favorite songs, God Bless the USA and YMCA. I'm not going to play it because we're going to get a copyright strike. So the Saudis actually were careful enough to basically play Trump's favorite songs. And the world knows we are in a golden age. So these people are celebrating this. Okay, so this was when they were arriving. The Saudis sent their plane for security, saying, "Good morning, Air Force One, Saudi Arabia. Thank you for good morning from Air Force One, Saudi Arabia. Thank you for the escort and having President Trump back. We all appreciate it. See you on the ground shortly." Okay, so this guy, he was on Air Force One. The Saudi planes were basically escorting Air Force One while they were getting there. So he was thanking them on the plane. And oh my God, look at this, guys. It's so interesting to me how so many Americans are surprised by this, as if they don't know that Saudi Arabia and America are major allies. Because a lot of people are like, oh my God, look, Saudi Arabia and US flags flying next to each other. This shows how much Trump is bringing peace. Like we never believed that these flags are flying next to each other. I mean, did they not know? Like, because Saudi Arabia is Arab, and they're like, oh, Arab something, but Arab Islamic writings are next to the US flag. Like, I mean, look at this caption. Tim is saying there are more American flags at Trump's arrival in Saudi Arabia than most Democrats' events. I mean, you aren't wrong. That's not wrong. But I saw some other, so his take says not wrong. But a lot of people are like, oh my God, this is so impressive. Saudi and US flag next to each other. I mean, this is kind of impressive, to be honest. Let's switch. Yes. Yeah, so One Punch Man in the chat saying they got the swag and they know how to floor Trump. Yeah, exactly. These things work, man. These things work. Shows like this, they have an effect on people. I mean, it's the same reason why the pharaohs built the pyramid, right? I mean, they built the pyramids for shock and awe, for impressing people. That's how politics works. And now Saudis are doing it better than anyone. Like, show me who. I mean, I guess like Putin does it well as well, But I think the Saudis do it the best. Like, who does these things better than the Saudis? All right, let me actually go here. Let me see what this guy is saying. Saudi royal guard riding on horseback, carrying American flags, escorting Trump. Escorting Trump is the beast. This goes hard, so people are really enjoying this. And this one also showing this clap. Gunter is saying, wow, the Saudi prince and the whole room gave President Trump a standing ovation. The world is healing under Trump's leadership. So these are Trump fans saying these things. And let's see. I'll go to some anti-Trump takes as well. What this guy is saying, okay, so by the way, the tweets I'm showing you, each one of them got like 21, 30, 60,000 likes. Like, I'm showing you tweets that were getting the most views and the most attention, right? C3 is saying, look at some of them, not all of them. C3 saying, look at this welcome ceremony for President Trump in Saudi Arabia. Now, remember, the Saudi crown prince did not meet Biden at the airport. He made Biden come to him to meet him. America is back. And then also Nick here is saying, this one got 24,000 likes. Nick is saying, now President Trump and Saudi crown prince sign an economic agreement which will result in over 600 billion in Saudi investment in the United States. This guy, yeah, I already showed that one. I don't want to show that one because that. Oh, here, Julia here saying Saudi Arabia, Biden versus Trump. So let's actually take a comparison. This is Biden when Biden arrived, and this is when Trump arrived. So you can see there's a visible difference. Let me actually gather some anti-Trump takes. Anti-Trump takes. Yeah, let's look at. Is this an anti-Trump take? So she's listing all the big names that were there. Like CEOs of OpenAI, Elon Musk. So you can see Blackstone, BlackRock, IBM. All of these big names are there. Look at this. Look at these big names. Okay, so she's saying it's not just Elon Musk that went to meet MBS and the government in Saudi Arabia. The CEOs of BlackRock, IBM, Amazon, Boeing, Google, Palantir, Halliburton. Did I read that? And more attend with Donald Trump. Donald Trump froze the enforcement of the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. So I'm sure they're all thrilled. They can bribe the Saudis now to do business with them. Bribe the Saudis? The Saudis are funding them. If this happened under Biden, MAGA would be screeching for years. I mean, that part I agree with, actually. If these ties were like, because remember, it used to be MAGA that said like, oh, tech billionaires being connected with politics is a bad thing. Wasn't it like, am I imagining this? Wasn't this like, weren't the MAGA people, like, guys, am I like was this like a dream? Well, weren't the MAGA people the ones who always complain about like, oh, tech billionaires in politics, that's horrible, business is controlling politics? I mean, I'm not complaining. I like the fact, honestly, guys, I like the fact that American tech is going to get a lot of funding, okay? Because we need major competition with China, okay? But I'm consistent. I would like it under Biden or Trump. However, I wonder if the MAGA people have been consistent on this one. Let me know if you agree with me or disagree with me. Wait, what am I showing in the screen? Let's go to this. And oh yeah, here's the account that I follow for anti-Trump takes, Republican against Trump, which is interesting because these Republicans are showing something for MSNBC. I guess they agree on their anti-Trump narrative, saying Stephen Ratner, right, on the $2 billion Jared Kushner received from Saudi Arabia. This is what he said. He said, so this is in 2023. I've been in the business for 40 years. I've never seen someone get $2 billion, 2/3 of their money from a single investor, which is the Saudis here. So yeah, like $2 billion for the Saudis. I mean, $2 billion is a big money for Trump and Trump family, right? But $2 billion is not as big of a deal for the Saudis. And honestly, when they invest with Kushner and stuff, they don't really care. It's not really about making a return on their investment. It's just basically about getting favors from the Trump family. Yeah. So let's look at this. This Vice Guard here saying President Trump was spotted sitting next to Saudi Arabia's sovereign fund PIF Governor H.E. Yasser Al Rumayyan at UFC 309 last evening. PIF is among the largest sovereign wealth funds in the world with total estimated assets of $930 billion. Like that's almost $1 trillion. That's freaking crazy. Oh, here. This one, Adam here saying, ha 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 ha, Trump is so weak. So let's look at what happened. Remember, guys, the Persian Gulf, Trump, the Saudis, maybe like the Persian Gulf Arab countries trying to get Trump to rename the Persian Gulf to the Arabian Gulf. So apparently Trump was going to do that. And then the backlash was enough for Trump to change his mind on that. We will actually go to what actually happened regarding the naming of the Persian Gulf, because something weird actually happened when he was speaking. If we have time, I will play it for you guys, right? But we have CNN actually reporting here that the president had been planning to have the U.S. Begin referring to the Gulf as the Gulf of Arabia or the Arabian Gulf. However, those plans shifted in days that followed. A source familiar with the talks told CNN, as Iran officials made clear they would viscerally, did I read that right, oppose such a move. Is there an F there? I didn't even know that. Okay, did I read that right? So this is weird because I don't think, was it the Iranian officials that pushed back against Trump that changed his mind? Or was it the Iranian people that are the opposition to the Iranian officials would actually love, it would be in their benefit for Trump to rename the Persian Gulf to the Arabian Gulf, because it will make the Iranian opposition hate Trump, and basically the Iranian regime would be like, see, Trump is bad. So I don't know if this CNN reporting is accurate. This is bizarre. I think it was the Iranian people who loved especially Iranian Americans, who loved Trump because they thought he's going to put maximum pressure on the Islamic Republic. I think losing their vote and losing their support, maybe it was that made Trump change his position, not the Iranian officials themselves, not the Iranian regime. So this is weird. And I mean, if it was because of the Iranian regime, I mean, this caption is correct. This is very weak. I don't know what happened. And again, I will show you later what Trump said about the Persian Gulf, which is actually made it even more weird. Much more weird. Okay, let me actually go here. Yeah, so just a reminder by this person, Sarah for Trump. Sarah for Trump, who's a Christian, supports Israel, an American patriot, loves dogs, and is a Trumpist. Like, I'm showing you some MAGA people, right? This is obviously a pro-Israeli, MAGA, patriotic American. She's saying, and this got like almost 3,000 likes, saying Qatar and Saudi funded 9/11 with their dirty money, and now they're bankrolling anti-Semitic and pro-Hamas crap in our universities. As an American patriot, I won't back these Arabs. I mean, okay. Renaming the Persian. Oh, wow. She's actually even talking about the Persian Gulf. Even though she's not Iranian, she's an American. Yeah. She's saying renaming the Persian Gulf would make 100 million Iranian friends our enemies. I mean, 100 million, more like 90 million maybe. Or, yeah. But, okay. I mean, I'm going to like and retweet this. I mean, I don't know if you said these Arabs. I don't actually, you know what? I don't like the way. I don't like to say these Arabs. I don't like this word. These Arabs. Okay, but I like the rest of it. I like this part. So I like the fact that yes, it was like the role but the reason why I want to show you this because she's clearly MAGA, and she doesn't like that this close relationship that Trump is having with Qatar and Saudi Arabia. Yeah. So you look at some of these big giants that Trump is bringing. Trump is bringing his tech boys. His tech boys. Look at this. We don't need the music. Elon Musk. Look at who else we're gonna bring. And also Sam Altman, OpenAI CEO. Very young to be a billionaire. Lisa Su, AMD CEO. Wait, shut up. Jensen Huang from NVIDIA. NVIDIA CEO. Shut up. What is this? Oh, Larry Fink from BlackRock. Guys, BlackRock. Where are the MAGAs at? You guys hate BlackRock. I mean, last time I checked, MAGA hates BlackRock, doesn't it? Look at this being buddy with Trump. Guys, is it don't MAGA, am I imagining this? Did I dream this? Don't a lot of MAGA people hate BlackRock? Like, aren't there supposed to be the image of like the people behind the shadows controlling things with their money, right? Yeah, and he's a Jew as well. Exactly. This is why a lot of MAGA hates him. He represents banks. He represents tech, big money. He represents basically funding a lot of leftist, I don't know, they think agendas in economics, and he's a Jew. A lot of things that MAGA, some people, not all MAGA, some people in MAGA hate, but even if they don't hate, like there's some anti-Semites in MAGA, but other MAGA. Oh, actually, keep that because start that because I want to see what that sketch therapy is saying. I want to see his take. You know, a lot of people kind of like within the right-leaning movement, they hate things that, and they're not anti-Semitic, but they don't realize that the hatred started with anti-Semitism. But because they themselves are not anti-Semitic, they bought other reasons for hating them. But let me actually see what sketch therapy is saying, because I value his take. He's saying, sketch therapy is saying, we would boo him for that atheist republic. MAGA bros, Trump all the time. MAGA boos Trump all the time. What are you confused about? We are Democrats. Right wing doesn't lockstep ever. What am I confused about? I have been constantly showing on this channel things that MAGA doesn't like about Trump. So I'm used to this. But I have other people in the chat that are MAGA. They're like, no, we don't. We like Trump. This is good. This is good. They excuse everything. I'm showing them that some of the disagreements coming from MAGA. What makes you think I am confused? I have been reporting on disagreements within MAGA with Trump for years now. Why would I be confused about that? Is it my tone? I'm always excited, man. I'm always excited. This is just how I am. Okay, I'm not confused. I'm just I'm easily excited. Okay, and also talking to a lot of people that don't know these things, and they might find it confusing or interesting, and I'm just going with that tone. But you're also wrong to say when you say. So I don't generalize MAGA. I know there's some nuance. I know there's disagreements among MAGA, but you are generalizing Democrats because you're saying we aren't Democrats. Right wing doesn't lockstep ever. Yeah. So you're clueless then, sketch therapy, on this thing because you make it seem like I'm confused. But have you not seen the Democrats infighting as well? So we have neocon versus MAGA. We have MAGA versus MAGA. We have MAGA versus the Groyper part of MAGA. We have MAGA versus other. We have pro-Israeli MAGA versus anti-Semitic MAGA. I know all of that, but how do you say like we have liberal Democrats versus progressive Democrats? we have within progressive Democrats, we have woke progressive Democrats versus Marxist progressive Democrats. So we have infighting there as well. Do you agree with that? So, like, I don't generalize, you're generalizing. Let's continue. So that's BlackRock. I mean, guys, by the way, I'm not anti-BlackRock. I just know many people within the MAGA movement are. Who's this guy? Jane Fraser, City CEO. Okay, so we have bankers and tech, all these people that, many people who voted for Trump, they voted for him to rise up against these people. Yeah. Am I wrong? Who's this guy? Alex Karp, Plantier, yeah, technology CEO, Plantier Technologies, another tech bro. Okay, I mean, not fair to call him tech bro. By the way, am I wrong about this? Isn't he supposed to be unbuttoning his? No, I don't know. I don't know what the proper etiquette for all of these things are. I'm not that fancy. Let's go to Iran-related stuff, which was quite bizarre. Okay, actually, let's listen to everything Trump said about Iran while he was there. Hold on, let me actually open. Wow, I have a lot of Iran-related stuff. I should open all of them, see which ones are most relevant to show you. Because we want to see the strategy regarding it, because he basically said a lot of things against the Iranian regime. However, he also kind of opened the door for friendship to them. Let me see if in the section that I'm going to show you, we are going to see that. Let's play this whole thing in full. Oh, this is quite interesting. But by the way, before I show you what he said about the Iranian regime, you can see here so many Iranian people were saying that, look how things have changed. During Pahlavi's dynasty, Iran used to be the place to go. Iran was the superpower of the Middle East. Iran was the place that the American president would visit as the center of investment, economy, modernization, and technology, and everything else. And now, because of the Islamic Revolution, everything has changed, and now it's the Saudi Arabia. So people basically are putting this. The caption says as shukuh to hasrat. So we went from prosperity, from being prosperous, from being great, and now we are all the way to jealousy, to basically look to feeling inferior, right? So look at this. Is Iranians made this video to show how we have fallen.
حضرت ریچارد نیکسون رئیس جمهوری ایالات متحده آمریکا و بانو پاتریشیا نیکسون.
I'm just going to mute this. I'm just going to show you, at the top, you can see Nixon meeting with Mohammed Reza Shah, Mohammed Reza Pahlavi, the last king of the Pahlavi dynasty before the Islamic Revolution in Iran. And bottom, you see Trump, instead of going to Iran, he's now going to Saudi Arabia. Yeah. Look at the top is Nixon in Iran, in Tehran. When Iran and America used to be allies, used to be friends, like that was in Tehran. Look at Iran had they had a red carpet for Nixon. Iran used to have a glorious ceremony. It was, by the way, Iran at the time it was the parties, the glamour, everything was ahead of everything, right? Like ahead of everyone else, especially in the Middle East at that time. Look at that. The Iranian flag with the lion and the sun used to fly next to the American flag at that time. But now Saudi Arabia flag and the American flags are flying next to each other. This is sad. So, yep, sadness. Hello, darkness. No, I make it cover. So people were sad. They were like, yeah, this is our lost glory. Where is that video I wanted to show you? It was from Arya. I had a video from Arya that was like captured everything. Oh, here, this is it. Found it. Yes, this is it. So this is what everything Trump said about Iran. Let's watch this together. How much time do we have? I have another show coming on the Persian channel.
But in a few short months since taking office, we have achieved the swift return of American strength at home and abroad. Now working with the vast majority of people in this region who seek stability and calm, our task is to unify against the few agents of chaos and terror that are left and that are holding hostage the dreams of millions and millions of great people. The biggest and most destructive of these forces is the regime in Iran, which has caused unthinkable suffering in Syria, Lebanon, Gaza, Iraq, Yemen, and beyond. There could be no sharper contrast with the path you have pursued on the Arabian Peninsula than the disaster unfolding right across in the Gulf of Iran. Think of that. They wanted to name it that. I said, they're not going to let them do that. Do you mind if I stop?
Okay, what the hell just happened? Did you guys pay attention? Did you guys hear what he just said? Are you okay? If only if you have been following this in detail would you understand how confusing this is. Okay, again, I know this might matter to me as an Iranian a lot more to you, but please understand that this is actually a big deal, right? We're talking about, the reason why this is a big deal is because we're talking about the greatest chance for the removal of the Islamic Republic in Iran is investing in the Iranian people. Okay, and the renaming of the Persian Gulf to the Arabian Gulf is going to make you lose the Iranian people, your greatest allies against the Islamic Republic. Okay, so we were told that Trump is planning to go and announce that we're going to name the Persian Gulf the Arabian Gulf. But what he said here is absolutely confusing and makes absolutely no sense, because he said they wanted to call it the Iranian Gulf. Wait, what? There is no Iranian Gulf. There's a Persian Gulf, and some Arab countries are trying to rename it to the Arabian Gulf. Persian Gulf, Arabian Gulf. We don't have any Gulf called the Gulf of Iran. And he said they wanted to who? He said they wanted to change the name to the Gulf of Iran. And I didn't let them do that. The name, nobody is trying to change the name to the Gulf of Iran. The name is already Persian Gulf. These Arab countries are trying to change it to the Arabian Gulf. Nobody anywhere is trying to change the name to the Iranian Gulf. And the Iranians are on the side of no changing. They're not on the side of changing. Do you understand how confusing this is, what he's saying? He's all over the place. Like, is he being what? Listen to this part again.
The vast majority of people in this region who seek stability and calm, our task is to unify against the few agents of chaos and terror that are left and that are holding hostage the dreams of millions and millions of great people. The biggest and most destructive of these forces is the regime in Iran.
True.
Which has caused unthinkable suffering in Syria, Lebanon, Gaza, Iraq, Yemen, and beyond. There could be no sharper contrast with the path you have pursued on the Arabian Peninsula than the disaster unfolding right across in the Gulf of Iran.
The Gulf of Iran? There is no Gulf of Iran. There is no such thing as the Gulf of Iran. There's the Persian Gulf. What the hell? And then like,
think of that. They wanted to name it that. I said, they're not going to let them do that.
They wanted to name it that? They're not going to let them do that? Who wants to name it that? Who?
Do you mind if I stop that? I stopped it.
You stopped it? You stopped it from calling it the Gulf of Iran? Nobody is calling it the Gulf of Iran. And nobody's trying to call it the Gulf of Iran. Can somebody explain to me what the hell is happening to me? Can somebody... do you think who's they? I don't know. Nobody's trying to call it the Gulf of Iran. Neither side is trying to call it. Also, we have three parties here. Okay, we have the Iranian regime, we have the Iranian people, and we have these Arab countries. Okay, the Iranian people want the name not to be changed, to remain the Persian Gulf. The leaders of these Arab countries want to change it to the Arabian Gulf. The Iranian regime is probably hoping that Trump actually names it the Arabian Gulf, so that they could come and virtue signal to the Iranian people that, oh, we are like, look, we are actually on your side and you should be anti-Trump. So they wouldn't actually, the Iranian regime would probably celebrate Trump actually trying to call it the Arabian Gulf. But within all of this, nobody is trying to call it the Gulf of Iran. So I don't know, like, by the way, guys, I am not anti-Arab. Okay, we already have a sea called the Arabian Sea. Okay, you have that, and it's bigger than the Persian Gulf. There's a sea called the Arabian Sea. You already have a giant body of water named after Arab. Okay, what the hell? Why are you trying to rename the Persian Gulf to the Arabian Gulf? Like, these Arab countries need to understand that the best way to fight the Islamic Republic is to ally with the Iranian people. If you want to pressure the Islamic Republic, you have to ally with the Iranian people. Trying to rename the Persian Gulf to the Arabian Gulf is the opposite of that. No, guys, that's none. Like, no, don't highlight anybody that is calling it anything other than the Persian Gulf. Guys, mention the Persian Gulf. We will not highlight anything on any other name. It's the Persian Gulf only. Okay, Sketch Therapy saying, by the way, Sketch Therapy, I know we disagree, but I really appreciate you being here because I want to see what your takes are. Okay, Sketch Therapy saying, I think he misspoke in a long off the cuff segment. It's pretty obvious. Okay, but but it is. So if he misspoke, that causes confusion. Right now, there's a lot of confusion around what he misspeaking causes confusion, right? So, but even if he misspoke, let's say, for example, instead of the Gulf of Iran, he meant to say that they wanted to name it the Persian Gulf, and I stopped him. So if he misspoke, what originally he wanted to say was that. That still doesn't make any sense, because the Persian side is not trying to change the name. The Persian side is trying to keep the already existing name. It's the Arab side that is trying to change the name. And he says, I stopped them from doing that. What do you mean you stopped them from doing that? The name is still officially the Persian Gulf. So if he misspoke, what was the thing that he was trying to say that he now misspoke? He won't change it. He said he means he won't change it. He said so then if he says he won't change it, so his misspeaking is against the crowd that he's speaking at. So if he says if he's trying to say that he's not going to change it, then what he was trying to say is that they tried to change it to the Arabian Gulf, and for some reason he said Iranian Gulf instead of Arabian, and to the crowd that is clapping at him, he's saying, like, you guys. So when he said they tried to change it, who was trying to change it? The people right in front of him. So he says they tried to change it, but they are them. So he's telling them that you're trying to change that. You tried to change it, and I stopped you. That's even if he's misspeaking, the original thing that he was trying to say still doesn't make any sense. He's telling the crowd in front of him that, oh, you tried to change the name from Persian Gulf to Arabian Gulf, and I stopped you, and the people there are clapping, and the people there are clapping. That still doesn't make any sense. Still doesn't make any sense. The only way that you could defend, let me actually be a Trumpist and tell you how you could defend this, okay? You could say, in a masterful 4D chess, blindfolded, underwater 4D chess move, Trump managed to say something that is confusing so that nobody gets angry. So he was confusing on purpose So everybody was like, what did he just say? So that he would basically, the Arabs won't get upset and the Persians won't get upset because nobody understood what he said. So Trump said like, hey, let me just confuse the fuck out of everybody so that nobody gets angry with me. That's the best defense that you can have for Trump. Okay, that is that. All right, let's continue.
We're not going to let that happen.
Like, we're not going to let that happen, and they're clapping. So if you're saying what he said was we're not going to change the name from the Persian Gulf, why are they clapping? If that's what he meant.
While you have been constructing the world's tallest sky.
Yeah, so checkmate by accident. I mean, honestly, this worked in his favor. I don't know if he was being confusing on purpose or not on purpose. Maybe Trump continues to make accidental 4D chess moves. Okay, he just stumbles upon moves that works best for him, because this is the only way that you saw. Actually, you can see that some Iranians are clapping. They're like, oh, I guess yay, no name change, and the Arabs are clapping as well. So maybe this was a 4D chess move. I don't know. I don't know. So I don't know. Everyone's happy. I guess nobody's upset.
While you have been constructing the world's tallest skyscrapers in Jeddah and Dubai, Tehran's 1979 landmarks are collapsing into rubble.
Okay, so this is the part that Iranians loved, because this was an anti-regime point, but it was also a pro-Pahlavi point, because it's saying landmarks of 1979, meaning that Iranian landmarks were all built during the Pahlavi dynasty. So a lot of people saw this, a lot of Iranians saw this as a pro-Pahlavi statement. So they kind of said, guys, if you want to win the Iranian side, just praise the Pahlavis, okay? Praise Reza Pahlavi, Reza Shah, the first Pahlavi, second Pahlavi, Mohammed Reza Shah, and the third Pahlavi, Reza Pahlavi, the Crown Prince, okay? This is the easiest way to win the largest part of the opposition's hearts and minds. If you want to get their attention, this is what you do, okay?
And they had it going.
So even, like, for example, even when Trump here, he doesn't even mention the Pahlavis, just by the mere fact that he praised, like he said, like, oh, the landmarks before 1979, a lot of people interpreted that as a pro-Pahlavi position, and they loved it. Yes.
79 landmarks are collapsing into rubble and dust. They had it going for a little while under a much different system, but those buildings are lost.
See, under a much different system. See, this is the part that Iranians love.
1979 landmarks are collapsing into rubble and dust. They had it going for a little while under a much different system.
Under a much different system. That's the Pahlavi dynasty. This is so good, and it would have been even better if he just mentioned the word Pahlavi.
But those buildings are largely falling apart, falling down. While
this part of what Trump is saying is so good, because a lot of Iranians were surprised about the level of detail that he's aware of what's happening in Iran. Like the fact that the infrastructure is falling apart and all the things that the Pahlavis built, this regime can't even take care of them. That's a lot of Iranians were surprised about this level of detail, and he adds more detail that a lot of Iranians were impressed by. So
you're building some of the world's biggest and most incredible infrastructure projects, buildings, all sorts of things you're building that nobody's ever even seen before. Iran's decades of neglect and mismanagement have left the country plagued by rolling blackouts lasting for hours a day.
That is exactly that is the main topic and main frustration right now in Iran. A country that is sitting on some of the richest oil and gas fields is having, everywhere in Iran, they're having hours of blackouts. You cannot blame the sanctions on this, because you're sitting on the freaking energy. It's right under your ground. You don't need to buy it from other places. And this level of mismanagement, one of the most energy-rich countries in the world, the people themselves cannot have access to electricity because the government is either trying to sell it to China or they're burning the oil and gas to make Bitcoin. That's what's happening. And they're not giving it the regime, because a lot of the oil and gas, they cannot sell it. What they're doing, instead of giving it to their own people and they're giving them electricity, they're burning it. And basically this is why right now there's a lot of pollution in Iran, because they're basically all the oil and gas that they were supposed to sell to other places, they're just burning it inside Iran to make more Bitcoin for themselves. And that's how they basically go around the sanctions. And basically the energy doesn't get to the people, and only the pollution gets to the people, and the regime gets the Bitcoins, right? So and this right now, if you go on Iranian social media, even the people who are not like revolutionaries against this regime, that is the main topic, the blackouts.
All the time you hear about it. While your skill has turned dry deserts into fertile farmland, Iran's leaders have managed to turn green farmland into dry deserts.
That is so accurate. These Arab countries, they were sitting on deserts, and they made out of deserts, they made giant cities and fertile land. And Iran is a land that was gifted with so many blessings, so much fertile land, so much of everything, like nature. Like if there were any gods, they gifted everything that the land needs to Iran. And they managed to ruin all of that. The mismanagement with water, the mismanagement with how they use fertile land, the mismanagement with everything. They have learned arable land into deserts. Like the Arabs are making deserts into green like fertile land, and the Iranian regime is turning green fertile land into desert. It's freaking opposite.
As their corrupt water mafia, let's call it the water mafia.
He's saying, it's so interesting, he calls it the water mafia, which is exactly how on Iranian social media they refer to the people in the regime that manage the water in Iran. They call them the water mafia. And a lot of Iranians were shocked that he's using the exact same terminology. They're like, what? How is Trump is so in line? Like this part, like guys, I have my criticism for Trump. You like, people get confused when they watch my live stream, because you're like, he seems like he's anti-Trump, and then he seems like he's pro-Trump, and now he sounds like he's anti-Trump. Yeah, like when he says something wrong, I say this is wrong, and when he says something right, he's this part of his speech. Like just a second ago, the whole Persian Gulf thing was like all over the place, right? But here, this part is so on point. It's so surprisingly and so accurately on point.
Causes droughts and empty riverbeds. They get rich, but they don't let the people have any of it. And then, of course, there's the key difference at the root of it all. While the Arab states are focused on becoming pillars of regional stability and world commerce, Iran's leaders have focused on stealing their people's wealth to fund terror and bloodshed abroad. Most tragic of all, they have dragged down an entire region with them. Countless lives were lost in the Iranian effort to maintain a crumbling regime in Syria. Look at what happened with Syria. In Lebanon, their Hezbollah proxies have pillaged the hopes of a nation whose capital, Beirut, was once called the Paris of the Middle East. Can you imagine?
Yeah, and who screwed over Lebanon? It was the Islamic Republic in Iran. It was one of the main reasons why Lebanon is now devastated is because of Hezbollah, which is a proxy of the Iranian regime.
All of this misery.
So basically, the Iranian regime is not just responsible for destroying Iran, it's also responsible for devastating Lebanon, Syria, and also Yemen and Iraq.
And so much more was entirely avoidable, absolutely avoidable. And Mohammed knew that. He knew that. Smart people knew that. If only the Iranian regime had focused on building their nation up instead of tearing the region down. Yet I'm here today not merely to condemn the past chaos of Iran's leaders, but to offer them a new path and a much better path toward a far better and more hopeful future. As I've shown repeatedly, I am willing to end past conflicts and forge new partnerships for a better and more stable world, even if our differences may be very profound, which obviously they are in the case of Iran.
So, but this is the part of Trump's philosophy regarding the Iranian regime that is different from Netanyahu. Okay, so Netanyahu wants to have a strong relationship with Iran by after the Iranian regime falls, but Trump is basically showing an olive branch to the Iranian regime. As long as they just put their nuclear weapons away and behave well, Trump says that they could have a very strong tie with Iran even under this current regime, as long as they just behave well, right? And this is why a lot of Iranian people are now seeing that Netanyahu is more of an ally to the Iranian people than Trump, because Netanyahu only considers the possibility of a strong relationship between Israel and Iran only if this regime changes and goes away. But Trump's conditions are a lot less. Trump's conditions are only that they just don't have nukes, I guess, and just behave a bit better. Yeah.
World, even if our differences may be very profound, which obviously they are in the case of Iran, I have never believed in having permanent enemies. I am different than a lot of people think.
See, permanent enemies, meaning like his idea is like, yeah, we used to be enemies with Japan and Germany, and now we're friends. Okay, so we could do the same thing with Iran. But the thing is, with Japan and Germany, there was regime change, you know. So with Iran, you should also require the condition should be a regime change before you could be friends with them, in my opinion.
I don't like permanent enemies, but sometimes you need enemies to do the job, and you have to do it right. Enemies get you motivated. In fact, some of the closest friends of the United States of America are nations we fought wars against in generations past, and now they're our friends and our allies. I want to make a deal with Iran. If I can make a deal with Iran, I'll be very happy if we're going to make your region and the world a safer place. But if Iran's leading...
So look at this. Reza Pahlavi, for example, commented here, right? So this is Reza Pahlavi. This is the main guy that we want, many Iranians. This is the strongest figure in the opposition, right? Reza Pahlavi, the crown prince of Iran, the son of the former king of Iran. And this is the guy that we support as the leader against the Islamic Republic. Okay, so you guys need to know this guy, okay? So Reza Pahlavi, with a very good take here, saying President Trump is right. And by the way, this is really good that he starts like this. When you want to... it shows that Reza Pahlavi understands how to talk about Trump. You don't come and criticize him. You don't come and say he's wrong about something. You basically find a common ground. You mention that he's right, and then you add your clarification to it. Without you make a criticism or a clarification not look like a pushback. Okay, you praise him. You point where he's right, and then you put the thing that you want to add after. Okay, the fact that he starts with President Trump is right shows that him and his advisors know what they're doing. Okay, so he's saying President Trump is right. This regime has held Iran and the Middle East hostage. Iranians are fighting for the bright future he speaks of. The only obstacle between them and the future is the Islamic Republic. When the regime is gone, lasting peace will come to the region. Okay, so here Reza Pahlavi is making it clear that yes, President Trump is right to suggest that it's the Iranian regimes that is basically stopping all this peace and prosperity, and the only way for us to basically go past this is not to get this regime to behave in a different way, but it's the only way is to get rid of this regime, right? When the regime is gone, lasting peace will come to our region. Okay, guys, please make sure you follow Reza Pahlavi. He's a best source of information for what the views of the main opposition, the main anti-regime Iranians are saying and what they're thinking. Okay, so this is the account that you need to be following if you want to understand that. Okay, so let's continue.
Leadership rejects this olive branch and continues to attack their neighbors, then we will have no choice but to inflict massive maximum pressure, drive Iranian oil exports to zero like I did before. If you know that, they were a virtually bankrupt country because of what I did. They had no money for terror. They had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah. and take all action required to stop the regime from ever having a nuclear weapon. Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. But with that said, Iran can have a much brighter future, but will never allow America and its allies to be threatened with terrorism or nuclear attack. The choice is theirs to make. We really want them to be a successful country. We want them to be a wonderful, safe, great country, but they cannot have a nuclear weapon. This is an offer
Yeah, they cannot be a great country under the Islamic Republic.
That will not last forever. The time is right now for them to choose. Right now, we don't have a lot of time to wait. Things are happening at a very fast pace. They're happening right here. They're happening at a very fast pace. So they have to make their move right now, one way or the other. Make your move. As I said in my inaugural address, my greatest hope is to be a peacemaker and to be a unifier. I don't like war. We have the greatest military, by the way, in the history of the world. You know, I rebuilt our military in my first 4 years and rebuilt it into the most powerful military.
All right, so the Iran part is finished. Just also want to show you guys that in Syria, people were celebrating because Trump announced that they're going to be removing the sanctions. Like, people are flying the Saudi flag and the Syrian flag. Because Trump is announcing the removal of sanctions on Syria, so people in Syria were celebrating. I don't know what they're saying. I speak Persian. I don't speak Arabic. Okay, so let's see. Most of this. Syrian people are very happy. They're honking in the street. Are they shooting? Is that gunfire in the air? That's crazy. Yeah, I wonder if this is going to force Israel not to basically make, you know how they support, like Israel is trying to support the Druze in Syria. I wonder if is it going to make them stop doing that? I don't know. Listen. Yeah, somebody's saying, so now can all the Syrian refugees go home now? That's a good question. What goes up will come down. Yeah, okay, that. Yeah, I don't know. Is it not dangerous shooting in the air? That's a weird way to celebrate things. Okay, let me just look at your comments now. And then I have to go to the Persian show. I'm going to basically doing the same topic on the Persian channel right after this. Guys, again, thank you, Gene, for highlighting the comments and starting them. Gene is saying, I am very happy that Israel has been preparing for America to abandon as for at least 40 years. Zionism believes everyone will turn on the Jews one day, and they are right. Yeah, okay. And the best way for Israel to prepare itself, Gene, you're very correct about this. I think Jews have learned from their history that you cannot rely on anybody, but the best way to hedge against that risk is not to only rely on yourself. The best way to hedge against that is to diversify your allies. The response should not be isolationism and trying to do everything yourself. That's the recipe for weakness. The answer should be, we need more strong allies. We need to put our eggs in more baskets. That's the proper response. Let me know if you guys agree. Gene is saying, however, I really want to see what happens if Arab nations will have to come to terms with the fact that Israel doesn't need America to survive. Yeah, I mean, Israel will survive. Israel will survive. The thing is, what is the cost that Israel has to pay for survival? That's the difference, because it's not black and white. This is a spectrum. So the stronger Israel is and the more allies it has, the cost for survival will be lower. Jewish Samantha is saying, knowledge is power, ignorance is bliss. Israel's success is because we never choose blissful ignorance. We cynically call out the humanitarians, in quotation, bluff. Okay, that's interesting take. Bina is saying, where is Susanna these days? Susanna is busy. She has other jobs, and she's also sometimes gets a lot of under pressure and sometimes stress. So I'm doing this full time. Susanna will be back, but she needs to focus on some other things sometimes. Okay, please understand. Okay, with Susie. Okay, she's her time. She has her family, her work. There's a lot of things. Okay, she's not doing this full time. Israel Popo is saying, Bibi doesn't dare to win. Israel hasn't won a war since 1967. Trump gave Israel the chance to clear Gaza of Arabs. Bibi didn't dare, so Trump went to Saudi. I don't know. Sometimes you guys are asking for a miracle. It's so weird that what do you expect? Like, you want them to be a vacuum cleaner? Like, what are you talking about? Bibi it was very impressive what Israel has done with Hezbollah in Gaza. I mean, sometimes you guys don't understand the complications of how difficult it is to basically take out enemies, especially in Gaza that are mixed in so many different, and all. It's a hard balance, guys. And you cannot their civilian casualties has to be below a certain number, or else you're going to be isolated. And also, Israel has managed to destroy Hezbollah. Like, Hezbollah has been decapitated, something that nobody ever imagined that Israel is even capable of doing, and it has been done. I don't know what news you're following. It's different from what I'm seeing. I mean, I have criticisms for Netanyahu. I have a lot, but when it comes to the whole world was impressed by how. I mean, you see, Hamas's removal is difficult because they're mixed with civilians, but even there they have been very successful. But I don't know. Haven't you seen how impressive Netanyahu has been, or Israel as a whole has been, when it comes to their response to Hezbollah? Okay, VD is saying this is a prelude to Abraham Accords and eventually to Cyrus Accord, I believe. Is it? But the Abraham Accords is shifting towards. The Abraham Accord is still there, but it's shifting more to. The Abraham Accords is there. It's not a prelude, but it's just shifting more towards Saudi interest rather than Israel's interest. And the Cyrus Accord could only happen if there's a toppling of the regime in Iran. So we don't know if there's even going to be a Cyrus Accord unless there's a toppling of the regime in Iran. Unless you have a government in exile with Reza Pahlavi, and you treat it like a government, maybe then we could have the Cyrus Accord even before the toppling of the regime. Break Yourself is saying, how much time do I have? Okay, I need to finish this in the next 5 minutes. Break Yourself is saying, why does MBS love Jolani so much? That's a curious part. You think he wouldn't have so much stake in the specific puppet they use to pressure IRGC? No, they love him because he wants to do the Saudi model. He wants to go towards modernization, away from terrorism. At least that's what it seemed like. I don't know what it's going to do tomorrow. And Saudi and Syria, and he wants to play a game with the Saudis. And Saudi would love to be able to enter into Syria. Syria is a key region for you to be able to have economic trade. Like, do you understand how many trade corridors need Syria? Syria is basically a lot of trade corridors that a lot of people want to make possible needs to go through Syria. So if Saudi manages to have an in into Syria, that's going to be a game changer, both economically and politically. That's going to give them so much leverage. I mean, it would be insane if they didn't make a move. The only thing that was different from what the people anticipated, they thought that Turkey and Saudi are going to fight over who gets to have Syria. but now they seem like they're cooperating. But of course, this makes sense because they're extremely happy because Syria used to be belong to the Islamic Republic. Now Jolani is moving away, is anti the Islamic Republic in Iran, and is moving towards Turkey and Saudi Arabia. They're so excited about this. Of course they're excited. Carl is saying, I must say Trump adds a level of randomness to global politics that would feel exciting if this all was a TV show to watch safely on your couch. I mean, it's not all bad. There are a lot of good things that are happening. Like, I'm enjoying seeing all of this money. I mean, dumb money going into. I'm seeing a flow of dumb money going to smart money. Okay, like I like the oil money going into tech is basically seeing the unproductive money going into a productive sector. All of this money, like Trump opening a gate to all of this money flowing into U.S. tech sector. I really appreciate that. I really like that. Okay, so this is good. I don't like how the thing that I don't like is how Israel is being sidelined for now, at least. We'll see what happens in the future. And I also don't like how the Saudis are influencing Trump to go easy on the Islamic Republic. I don't like that. Okay, but it's a mix of positives and negatives, right? But you're saying, oh, I already answered that. Oh, we got 2 super chats. Let me just answer that and then go because I need to get ready for the Persian show. So let me just do the super chats. Sketch Therapy saying, thanks for listening to an old puro what what is that? U.S. Army veteran. I don't even know what is that. What does that mean? Is this a Peru? Is this Peru? Oh, Puerto Rican. Oh, Puerto Rican. Okay. This is Puerto Rican. Okay, Puerto Rican. Sorry. Thanks for. Oh, you're from Puerto Rico. Okay, that's interesting. Now I know more about you. So thanks for listening to an old Puerto Rican U.S. Army veteran. Okay, Puerto Rican. Sorry. Me no English. Oh well, thank you for your feedback. Thank you for your criticism. I like the pushback. Your pushback against the things that I'm saying is on a higher level. Okay, most of the time when I get pushback in the chat is like this is so dumb. You don't. Armin is so stupid. And like, okay, how? Why? Like, what am I saying wrong? Like, okay, if I'm dumb. After you call me dumb, can you please actually spell it out for me? What did I got wrong? So a lot of the pushback against me, like, oh, like Armin is a secret Muslim, Armin is a Zionist, Armin is dumb, Armin is like, I don't know, agent of this or agent of IRGC or agent of Mossad. And I don't know, okay, like just tell me why I'm wrong. But Sketch Therapy, like I really appreciate Sketch Therapy because he spells it out. Like he tells me why I'm wrong if he thinks I'm wrong. So I'm really grateful to have you here. And thank you for your super chat. Okay. VD is saying, great stream. Thank you. Oh, you got a super chat just praising the show. That's great. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, guys, I gotta go. I'm actually late. I'm not gonna have any break between this show and the next one. God damn it. I should go drink some water or something. And I need to get all the stuff ready for the next show. Anyways, I'm gonna go and like the stream, leave a comment, subscribe if you're new here, hit the bell notification, maximum support, okay? You know how we have maximum pressure for the Islamic Republic, maximum support for the Iranian people, but also maximum support for this channel, okay? Maximum support means liking, subscribing, hitting the bell notification, leaving a comment after the show is over, and also recommending this channel, Atheist Republic YouTube channel, to everybody, okay, as much as you can, as long as it's safe. Don't recommend this channel if you're in an Islamic country and it's not good to recommend a channel called Atheist Republic. Do not do that, okay? But other than that, thank you guys. All right, guys, bye. Mwah. Oh, and thank you, Gene. Thank you, Gene, for highlighting the comments and starting everything. You're amazing.